Good morning guys and welcome to a new video or a really early morning outside of Falköping, Gudhem Abbey. Today we're talking about handheld high resolution mode or HHHR. Wow, that was an edge. Almost fell. Nice. I don't shoot this mode too often, but I want to get into it more and more. So I think this is a perfect opportunity for me to explore it a little bit more. So as I said, I'm here at Gudhem Abbey. I've been here earlier this year and I took this photo. I'm actually quite happy with it. But today the sun is supposed to rise behind the tree and I think it can create a very nice photo. I'm gonna be on tripod for this shot. And there's two modes you can use for HR. I'm going to just refer to HR or high-res from now on in this video. I'm going to use the tripod mode, which gives me about 80 megapixels, which is very much, like that's a lot of megapixels to play with. But we're also going to visit two other places, or at least one other place in the woods. I'm going to go handheld as well, and that gives us about 50 megapixels. And be sure to stay until the end because I'm going to show you how I edit my high-res photos. But before that, I just want to introduce myself for those who's new to the channel. I'm Jimmy, a hobby enthusiast photographer based in Sweden. Let's get on. So hopefully you can actually see me here as well. I'm just going to set up my tripod here. Find the composition. So what is high-res mode? Well, it's very technical in the back end of the camera, but for us consumers, it's basically the sensor shifts a little bit. And when I say a little bit, I really mean a little bit, because it shifts around like 1 micron, like half a pixel or even less, to utilize as much of 1 pixel as possible, and then combine about 8 exposures to 1, giving us a very high resolution photo. Since the camera takes multiple exposures of the same photo, of the same pixel rather, it also gives you a better noise level. It gives you a little bit better dynamic range. It's not primarily used to get better dynamic range though, but it kinda just follows. So that's pretty much what HR or high-res mode is. Sensor shifts very little, takes multiple shots, combines them to 1 big shot, and then you get a very high resolution photo up to 80 megapixels on tripod, which is amazing. So maybe you're wondering, why wouldn't I use high-res mode all the time if it's so good then? Well, as it takes multiple exposures, if there is any movement when you shoot, as it is today unfortunately, it was supposed to be no wind, but it's windy today, a little bit windy at least. While it takes these 8 exposures, slight movements like this will cause, well, it can cause artifactions, and it will also create blur. So while we're setting up the camera right now, we're also going to make sure that our shutter speed is high enough so we get as little motion blur as possible. So I'm going to aim for at least 1/60th of a second. Okay, sorry if you can see this line of light. I'm sorry about that. I'm just going to show you my settings now. I'm going to be on manual mode for this. I will also activate the high-res mode, of course, and I press that button over there. And I just go left, and go to high-res mode there. I press info, as we're going to shoot in tripod mode. We're just going to choose tripod. And what this does, it turns off the IBIS as well. So if you go on here, we can see the image stabilization is off here. If you go back to let's see, if we go back to this and go to handheld instead, we're going to say this is going to be an auto instead. And that's mainly because the while being in handheld, it kind of relies on these micro movements as you do as a person. It relies on the IBIS to correct that. But as we're on tripod right now, it turns the image stabilization off because there is some kind of bugs with IBIS that it tries to detect micro movements of the camera, even though there is none. So that makes it basically, it shifts the sensor and it causes blur, and we don't want that, do we? We're gonna aim for the shutter speed to be about 1/60th. Like so. And I'm gonna be on f5.6, which is about f11 on full frame. So that's the settings pretty much. But I think you can see the composition here, and I think this is a very beautiful place. Really beautiful place. So all we're gonna do now is just wait for the sunrise to bring us some beautiful light. So as I said earlier, maybe going HR is not something you do at every moment, but it's for sure, it has its place very nicely. And there's a photographer here in Sweden, Michael Svensson. He loves doing long exposures with high-res. And I asked him about, like, do you ever like experienced artifacts and stuff like that? And he was like, it happens. And I was like, huh, interesting. Maybe if the sun actually comes out very nicely behind the tree, I may step down to like f11, f16, or even more maybe, to create some sunbursts. Or sunbursts, what's it called? Sunstars. Yeah. I'm gonna wait a little bit longer, get the sun up. But I'm not gonna keep you waiting, so here's the photo. Enjoy. Well, that was beautiful. Let me see. Well, I'm a little bit too late in the summer because this is the composition and the sun is going up, well, to the right of the tree. So it wasn't the perfect shot that I wanted, and I also had no clouds or anything, so the shot itself wasn't that interesting. We'll see when I get home. I don't know how the photo will turn out yet. I even tried to exposure bracket with high-res photo. I'm not sure how that will turn out, but we will see, I guess. On to next location. Oh, I'm at the second place now. Kind of found a forest I like. But again, the problem is the sun is over there. And the forest is over here. So the shadows are going, well, this way. Oh, that way. So what I'm trying to do now is just walking into the forest so I get the sun more in front of me, like this. I actually found a little bit of a patch that I like. It's nothing special, but I kind of like it. I like the soft light, even though the sun is really up on the sky now. I really like the light, and the sun just went behind some clouds as well. And I had to walk into the forest a bit because when I was walking towards here, I had the sun in my back. So I just walked into the woods and turned around a little bit. And yeah. And another just quick tip is when you're shooting high res, as soon as you take the photo and you see the busy loading coming up, that the photo is done already. You can take take down the camera without worrying it will be blurry or anything like that. Alright, I think we got what we want. Let's head back home and I will show you my post-process workflow. Because that's unprofessional. See you at home. Okay guys, we're here in Adobe Camera Raw. I'm actually transitioning a little bit over to Camera Raw instead of Lightroom. I just feel it's working a lot smoother than Lightroom for some reason. I'm just going to give this just a little bit of a lift so we can actually see what we're doing. Something like that. And yeah, let's start. Okay, so I'm just going to zoom in quite a lot here. So don't mind it being like blurry because of that. But as you can see, at first glance, it looks pretty decent. But as I was talking to Mikael about his settings for high-res, because I told him that I find my photos being kind of soft. It doesn't look like they're really sharp, like almost a little bit unfocused or not in focus. And he was like, yeah, you gotta edit them quite high, quite a lot to get that sharpness that you want. Like, okay. And he shared his settings, his base settings with me. And I'm going to do the same with you. So basically what you just do is going to the photo you want, details, and this works the same in Lightroom as well. It looks exactly the same. We're going to increase the sharpening to 90, the radius to 2.7, details to 70, and masking to 30. And this is just the base. Sometimes you need more, sometimes you need less. On this photo, I actually think it kind of works pretty well, actually. So if you look at the before, this is the after. So this is the before, this is after. We can just see it clears everything up pretty much. At least I think that. And also, as I said, I'm zooming in quite a lot. It doesn't look good when you zoom in like this. It's gonna be looking horrible. Doing that, and also on the floor here, yeah, you see it's way better. But hopefully you actually see the noise level is not that bad as well. But if we go denoise, and remember this is a big file as well, so denoising on a perhaps not as good computer will take quite a long time. All right, so here's the preview. This is the enhanced, this is the unenhanced. Without enhance. So you can see denoising the image as well helps quite a lot. And I'm on 20 in amount. If you increase this, it's going to be even sharper, but like I don't think that looks too good. So around 20 is my go-to. I'm not going to do that now because we're in the middle of the video. Let's go to this image next, and I'm just going to do the same here. I don't think I need a base adjustment here to see what we're doing, so I'm just going to increase the sharpening to 90, 2.7, and 70, 30. And we can just see here on the trees that it really helps. It does a lot. It does pretty much everything. Hey Stella. Hi. Look at this little one. Hi. And on top of this, you just do your normal editing as you normally would. The editing itself doesn't need anything special at all. It's just the sharpening that matters, that to get all the details that you want. So on this image, I took this image on the way to taking this photo. You can see the windmills doesn't look too good. I'm just gonna give this a base, like it's a small increasement here. And I was wrong actually. Apparently the camera takes 12 exposures, not 8, it takes 12 exposures. So we can see the blades here, how many times it actually took the exposures. That's very cool. That's actually very cool. So I have 1 exposure, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12, 11, 12. 12 exposures. But yeah, the same principle here. We can see the windmill looks by actually not in focus, but as soon as we increase the sharpening, base adjustment still 2.7, 70 and 30, not 340, we can see the lines already being more prominent, I guess. Yeah, it looks just way better right away. Yeah, you can even see, you can see the lines so much better. At some point you will take one of these photos and you realize, no, what have I done? Oh, it looks horrible. I can't use this photo. But yes, you can. This, as I said, is the HR photo. I'm just gonna click out of this and I'm gonna open Adobe Bridge, and we have this photo here. Oops, I didn't mean to mark those, but these 2 photos right here. And you can see here, this is the windmill with unsharp. But every time you take an HR photo, you get an ORI file as well. And we're just going to change the name of this ORI file to ORF. .orf. This dot in between is important because that decides the file type of the file. And we're just going to press enter and OK. F5 to update. And 64. Now this is an image now, apparently. So what happens here is basically, we're just going to open this as well, by the way. Actually, let's open both of them. Those 2. So what happens here is basically, when, as we know, the camera takes multiple exposures, but the camera also saves one of the exposures as its own file, as the original file. That way, if it doesn't turn out as you want it to turn out, you always can go back to the original file like this. So we can see, let's zoom in a little bit. And this file is already sharper, straight out of box, if you put it that way. But we can still, if we increase this to 90, 2.7, 70, and 30. Now it even looks like horrible using these settings because of how sharp it becomes. So usually, if I need to use the original file, I don't apply any sharpening at all. I just let it be as it is, like this. Alright guys, that's it. I'm not gonna keep you here any longer. It became quite a long video anyway, even though it's just about one function on the camera. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button as well, it helps me a lot. Until next time, have a good day or evening, whenever you're watching this. Out!